The Nazi lowriders operate in and outside prison walls. They are often fueled by their favorite drug of choice.
Soldiers of Aryan Culture started in the 1990s in the Utah State Prison at the point of the mountain. Since then, it has grown in influence and pervasiveness to where now it is in prison systems throughout the United States.
More than a dozen people here in Corpus Christi have been arrested as part of an investigation into the activities of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. Federal indictment accuses the 14 suspects of several different types of crimes.
To a story now, a 4-year-old case against an Aryan Brotherhood prison gang set to go on trial here in Sacramento
Across
next
the
month.
United States, white supremacist prison gangs have grown from fringe groups behind bars into powerful criminal enterprises. Though rooted in extremist ideologies like neo-Nazism and white separatism, many now prioritize profit over racial doctrine. What began as prison-based protection cliques has evolved into nationwide networks involved in drug trafficking, extortion, and gangs such as the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, and Aryan Circle dominate inside prisons, while others like the Nazi lowriders and European kindred operate heavily on the streets. Despite shared beliefs, these gangs differ in size, structure, and tactics. This report breaks down the most dangerous white supremacist prison gangs in America, examining their rise, operations, and continuing threat to public safety.
Investigators say the leader, Chance Wilson, aka Wolfhead, has been the mastermind behind the Aryan Brotherhood in Oklahoma State prison systems for years. With the help of cell phones, Wilson relied on a network of members outside the prison to distribute.
To a story now, a 4-year-old case against an Aryan Brotherhood prison gang set to go on trial here in Sacramento next month.
It all started with this man, 34-year-old Henry George. Back in the summer of 2002, he went missing. 4 years later, his buried in a mesa west of Rio Rancho. The FBI says George was trying to get into the Aryan Brotherhood, a prison gang that promotes white power. It operates both inside and outside of prison. In Rio Rancho by other members of the gang because he was working with authorities. Gang member Travis Daly was convicted in Georgia's 2009, but the story doesn't end there. Investigators say Benjamin Raymond, also known as Big Ben, and Travis Daly ordered the killing of fellow member John Mutersbach to keep him from talking to authorities about Georgia.
Gang war, court records reveal, has been going on since 2019, turning deadly in Oklahoma City. The new documents show Connor Huckabee, who had a handful of previous charges, is a blood gang member. According to investigators, Facebook messages show back in November he was lured out of his Metro hotel room by Danielle Velez. Surveillance video shows Huckabee then get into a truck Velez said she would be driving, and the truck speed away. The next morning, Huckabee was found dead on the side of South Richland Road.
The Aryan Brotherhood, also known as the Brand, was founded in 1964 at San Quentin State Prison in California. It emerged among white inmates primarily from Irish and biker cliques during the racial desegregation of prisons. Originally formed to oppose black prison groups like the Black Guerrilla Family, the Aryan Brotherhood quickly adopted a militant white supremacist ideology rooted in neo-Nazism and the 14 words mantra. However, over time, the gang has prioritized profit over race war rhetoric, often cooperating with non-white gangs, especially for drug trafficking. Known for its blood in, blood out code, membership is earned through extreme violence and abandoned only by death. By the 1980s, the AB split into two main factions, California and federal, each governed by a commission of leaders. With an estimated 20,000 members nationwide, the Aryan Brotherhood operates both inside high-security prisons and on the streets, using coded communication, lawyers, and external operatives to maintain its criminal enterprise. Their operations include drug and arms trafficking, deletion for hire, extortion, and human trafficking. High-profile incidents such as the 1983 Marion prison guard deletions and FBI's Operation Silent Night in 2008 highlight their capacity for orchestrated violence and national coordination. Despite their white supremacist roots, the Aryan Brotherhood often works with rival gangs for profit. though they remain hostile to black groups like the Black Guerrilla Family and rival white factions like the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas.
They call themselves the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, the ABT, considered one of the most dangerous gangs in the state with roots inside the walls of the Texas prison system.
I think the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas today is arguably the most violent white supremacist prison gang out there.
The ABT modeled itself after a California-based prison gang called the Aryan Brotherhood.
While most gangs seek safety in numbers, the Aryan Brotherhood remains an exclusive crew. Only the most cunning and ruthless convicts may enter the brand's privileged ranks.
Inmates in Texas asked the Aryan Brotherhood for permission to start a Texas chapter, but the Southern Poverty Law Center says they were denied membership. We don't know why, but it didn't seem to matter. Authorities say the ABT followed the California model.
It is said to be one of the gangs that live by the blood in, blood out code.
And like the larger Aryan Brotherhood movement, authorities say the ABT's main purpose turned from protecting whites in prison to criminal activities, and its reach began to extend outside the prison walls as more members served out their sentences.
Self-described lieutenant in the Aryan Brotherhood is arrested again on illegal weapons charges.
Yeah, 36-year-old Christopher Peeler had bonds of $30,000 set Thursday on 2 weapons and 1 drug charge. Last Wednesday, police got a report of a suspicious vehicle in the 1500 block of 23rd and found a Buick in the backyard of a vacant house.
Police had Peeler exit the car when they saw a wooden baton and nunchucks under his feet on the floorboard. Officers recognized Peeler as a known member of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, who has told officers he is a lieutenant in the white supremacist
More
gang.
than a dozen people here in Corpus Christi have been arrested as part of an investigation into the activities of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. Federal indictment accuses the 14 suspects of several different types of crimes. They include racketeering, drug trafficking, conspiracy to possess and distribute drugs, and extortion. All of them are facing up to life in prison. But one of the suspects still on the run.
The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas was founded in the early 1980s within the Texas prison system by inmates inspired by but independent from the California Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. It quickly became one of the deadliest and most organized white supremacist gangs in Texas. The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas embraced neo-Nazi ideology and the 14 words while presenting themselves as suburban gangsters outside prison. By the mid-1980s, they had secured dominance in Texas prison politics, calling themselves Mad Dogs. The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas maintains a strict hierarchy, with 5 regional generals overseeing operations across the prison system. Members often wear tattoos such as a sword through a shield, a B, or 12, though many now avoid ink to reduce law enforcement scrutiny. As of 2012, estimates place the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas total membership at over 3,500, including both incarcerated and street members. Inside prisons, the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas controls drug smuggling and extortion rackets, while outside they engage in trafficking, home invasions, and fraud. The gang's notoriety includes the 9/11-era demise of a Bangladeshi man by member Mark Stroman and the 2013 RICO prosecution that targeted 36 Aryan Brotherhood of Texas leaders. While ideologically white supremacist, the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas often partners with Black or Latino criminals for profit and maintains alliances with groups like Soldiers of Aryan Culture. Its enemies include the Aryan Circle, black gangs, and rival white sets.
Including high-ranking gang members allegedly with ties to the white supremacist group, the Aryan Circle. Now, not a lot is known at this time, but this is what we've gathered so far.
The states: Texas, Kentucky, and Mississippi. The allegations: racketeering conspiracy, violent crimes, drug conspiracy, and unlawful firearms trafficking. According to court documents, 13 of the 24 suspects are alleged members of the Aryan Circle, a violent race-based organization started within the Texas prison system in the mid-'80s. In recent years, its influence has expanded outside prison walls into rural and suburban areas in numerous states.
2 members of the Aryan Circle will spend 10 years in prison for trying to inmate at the U.S. Penitentiary in Yazoo City.
39-year-old Anthony Cochran right there is facing up to 20 years in federal prison after admitting to beating someone as part of the gang back in 2016 who reportedly wanted to switch his gang affiliation. Kidnapping. Federal courts in Kentucky, Mississippi, also other areas releasing similar indictments. But 46-year-old, here he is, Glenwood Derrick of Texarkana, is being held in the Smith County Jail right now.
The Aryan Circle was formed in 1985 by Mark "Cowboy" Gaspard as a splinter faction from the resisting the latter's turn toward religious extremism. The Aryan Circle maintained a white supremacist and criminally driven identity, embracing the prison Peckerwood culture of loyalty and brotherhood. Though it espouses neo-Nazi ideals, the Aryan Circle's leadership prioritizes criminal gain over ideological purity. Structured similarly to the Aryan Circle with ranks such as captain and lieutenant, the Aryan Circle only admits white members with no Hispanic ancestry, and initiates must prove themselves through acts of violence. By the late 1990s, the Aryan Circle had become Texas's second largest white gang, with an estimated 1,400 members nationwide. The Aryan Circle engages in drug trafficking, contract deletions, extortion, and organized robbery. The 2020 Texas gang sting led to the conviction of 64 Aryan Circle affiliates involved in distributing over 1,600 kilograms and dozens of firearms. The Aryan Circle also maintains street crews in cities like Houston and Dallas and operates beyond Texas in states like Oklahoma and Arizona. Notable crimes include the 2007 deletion of 2 police officers by an Aryan Circle member and the 2021 life sentence of leader Jesse Blankenship for orchestrating deletion for hire campaigns. The Aryan Circle has cooperated with groups like Soldiers of Aryan Culture and Peckerwoods, but remains rivals with ABT, black gangs, and the Nazi lowriders in some regions.
The Nazi lowriders operate in and outside prison walls. They are often fueled by their favorite drug of choice. It was 4:30 on a dark, cold January morning at this Kern County gas station. A sheriff's deputy down and seriously injured. Matt Knoll, an ex-con from Riverside with a Nazi lowrider tattoo on the back of his neck, was on the run in this stolen pickup. Our parolee Donald Ariasi, with repeated drug and grand theft charges on his record, 6 weeks ago was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Police in Contra Costa County caught him fleeing with a shotgun after he too ran a stolen car into a sheriff's deputy. Nazi lowrider Alvy Williams, already in prison on an unrelated weapons charge, was arraigned for more than a year after it happened.
Go away!
Here at a North Hills house, an LAPD career criminal unit arrests NLR associate Patrick Cowboy Ray. NLR member Jeremy Bell of Anaheim got 7 years in prison after ransacking a house, stealing $35,000 worth of stamps, jewelry, tools, and other household appliances police say he sold for dope money. His girlfriend, Juliet Slayton, who got 3 years, sent letters from jail asking a friend to stop witnesses from testifying against her.
The Nazi lowriders began in the late 1970s within the California Youth Authority system and later expanded into adult prisons and the streets. Originally formed as a youth gang with neo-Nazi influences, the Nazi lowriders evolved into a violent, race-based criminal organization. Though rooted in white supremacy, the group has at times allowed lighter-skinned Latinos to join if they adhered to white supremacist beliefs, a controversial practice among more dogmatic racist gangs. The Nazi lowriders lacks the formal structure of Aryan Brotherhood, but operates with authoritarian leadership and younger recruits. Members sport tattoos featuring the Nazi lowriders, skulls, swastikas, and Confederate flags. Their criminal enterprise is extensive, focusing on drug trafficking, violent assaults, home invasions, and hate crimes. The Nazi lowriders has been responsible for multiple hate-related deletions, including a 1999 hammer attack on a black Walmart employee and a 2013 deletion of a bisexual man. FBI and DOJ agencies classify the Nazi lowriders as a top-tier threat in prisons. and law enforcement has linked them to coordinated drug rings across several states including California, Arizona, Nevada, and Florida. Though the Nazi lowriders collaborates with AB and ABT at times, they've also engaged in bloody turf disputes with black and Hispanic gangs.
Soldiers of Aryan Culture started in the 1990s in the Utah State Prison at the point of the mountain. Since then, it has grown in influence and pervasiveness to where now it is in prison systems throughout the United States. Very unfortunate export of Utah.
In addition to the Soldiers of Aryan Culture that started in Utah,
the Soldiers of Aryan Culture was founded in 1997 in Utah by inmate Tracy Inman Swena after exposure to Nazi ideology while incarcerated. The Soldiers of Aryan Culture quickly expanded beyond Utah, operating in states like Texas, Idaho, and Georgia. The gang is overtly neo-Nazi, requiring strict white ancestry and using violent acts as initiation. The Soldiers of Aryan Culture employs a military-style command with generals, captains, and lieutenants. Members often practice Asatru or Christian identity to reinforce their racist identity, and tattoos include swastikas merged with Norse runes. The Soldiers of Aryan Culture is involved in drug distribution, extortion, and organized prison violence. Inside Utah and federal prisons, the Soldiers of Aryan Culture has been linked to deletions, kidnappings, and even plots to bomb the 2002 Salt Lake Winter Olympics. High-profile crimes include the 2007 fatal stabbings of guards at USP Beaumont and a 2016 internal deletion of a fellow Soldiers of Aryan Culture member. Their alliances include groups like Silent Aryan Warriors and Noble Elect Thugs, though these are often short-lived. The Soldiers of Aryan Culture continues to recruit in prisons and rural communities, spreading its extremist message while remaining heavily engaged in narcotics trafficking and inter-gang violence. The Dirty White Boys are a violent white supremacist gang that originated in Texas in the 1980s. Often seen as enforcers or affiliates of larger groups like Aryan Brotherhood Texas and Aryan Circle, the Dirty White Boys is known more for its brutality and trafficking than ideological structure. They operate in small, decentralized crews and use skull or swastika tattoos, though many adopt prison peckerwood identifiers. The Dirty White Boys has been involved in drug conspiracies, kidnapping for drug debts, and torture, including the infamous case of Justin Nazi Nelson, who chopped off a man's finger with a hatchet. They also serve as prison soldiers for tax collection or assault missions. While mainly active in Texas, some members have appeared in Oklahoma and Colorado through prison transfers. In 2013 and 2020, large-scale federal RICO cases and gang sweeps targeted the Dirty White Boys alongside other white supremacist organizations. Their alliances include Soldiers of Aryan Culture and some biker gangs, but they remain more isolated and focused on violent drug enforcement. The European Kindred is the most powerful white supremacist prison gang in the Pacific Northwest. Founded in 1998 at Oregon's Snake River Correctional Institution by David Kennedy, the European Kindred quickly became a dominant force in Oregon prisons and Portland streets. The European Kindred's ideology is rooted in white nationalism, combining Nazi and Norse pagan symbolism. Members must be at least 15-16 inches white and are required to commit violent acts to join, in accordance with the Blood In, Blood Out code. The European Kindred tattoos a distinctive red-black-white shield with the European Kindred, and the group recruits from skinhead and white power youth in Portland. Inside and outside prison, the European Kindred is deeply involved in drug trafficking, extortion, identity theft, and violent hate crimes. Infamous incidents include the 2002 deletion of a black drug dealer by the European Kindred member Joshua Brown and the 2003 torture of a disabled black woman. Though smaller than groups like Aryan Brothers, the European Kindred has proven deadly and disciplined. White supremacist prison gangs represent one of the most violent and deeply entrenched security threats within the American correctional and criminal justice systems. Although cloaked in racist ideology, These groups function more like organized crime syndicates, highly structured, brutally enforced, and profit-driven. Whether it's the long-standing reach of the Aryan Brotherhood, the regional dominance of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, or the rising violence of groups like the Soldiers of Aryan Culture and European Kindred, each gang poses a unique challenge to law enforcement and public safety. Their ability to coordinate across state lines, recruit new members from juvenile facilities and rural communities, and cooperate tactically even with racial rivals for profit reflects their adaptability and resilience. While federal RICO indictments and task force operations have disrupted many of these organizations, they continue to regenerate within the prison system and on the streets. Understanding their histories, internal codes, and evolving alliances is critical to dismantling their networks and preventing the spread of both hate-fueled violence and large-scale criminal enterprise.